Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. Psalm 33:18. The word behold commands attention. It signals a shift from what fails to what succeeds. After describing the futility of human strength, the psalmist now presents divine provision. The phrase, "the eye of the Lord," speaks of God's watchful care. His eye sees everything, but this verse emphasizes his focused attention on specific people. The expression "is upon them" shows constant surveillance. God never looks away, and he never loses interest. His gaze remains fixed. "Them that fear him" identifies the first group receiving God's attention. The word fear means reverent awe, not terror. It describes the proper response to God's majesty and holiness. Those who fear God recognize his authority. They respect his commands, and they live with an awareness of his presence. "Them that hope in his mercy" identifies the second characteristic. The word hope means confident expectation, not wishful thinking. It rests on God's character and promises. His mercy refers to God's loyal love and faithfulness. Those who hope in his mercy trust his goodness. They depend on his grace rather than their own merit. Jacob showed this dual attitude when he prepared to meet Esau. He prayed, "I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant." Genesis 32:10. Jacob feared God's holiness while cherishing his mercy. He acknowledged his unworthiness while claiming God's promises. To deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine. Psalm 33:19. This verse explains God's purpose in watching over his people. The phrase "to deliver their soul from death" speaks of preservation from mortal danger. Soul refers to life itself. Death refers to physical destruction. God intervenes to save those who fear him. He rescues them from situations that would otherwise prove fatal. The phrase "to keep them alive in famine" addresses sustenance during scarcity. Famine represents extreme deprivation. Food disappears and resources vanish. Yet God keeps his people alive even when natural means fail. He provides when provisions seem impossible. Elijah experienced this truth at the brook Cherith. God commanded him, "Get thee hence, and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there." 1 Kings 17:3-4. During a drought, God sustained his prophet. Ravens brought bread and meat morning and evening. When the brook dried up, God sent Elijah to a widow whose oil and meal never ran out. God's eye remained on his servant. He delivered him from death and kept him alive during the famine. The widow of Zarephath also proved this promise. She had only enough meal and oil for one last meal before she and her son would starve. Yet when she obeyed God's word through Elijah, her resources multiplied. And the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by Elijah. 1 Kings 17:16. God's eye rested upon her because she feared him and hoped in his mercy. He kept her alive during the famine. These verses contrast with the preceding warnings. Armies fail, strength disappoints, and horses prove worthless. But God's watchful care never fails. His eye sees those who fear him. His power delivers those who hope in his mercy. He saves from death. He sustains during famine. Human resources have limits, but divine provision knows no boundaries. Human sight misses details, but God's eye perceives everything. Human power exhausts itself, but God's strength never diminishes.